what's up guys, it's Chris here from Luxury Gaming and I participated in the European Championship. I went 10-2 and got 23rd place after Swiss and then unfortunately lost in top 128. So before I go into the profile, I want to give some shoutouts. So definitely shoutouts to all the people who bought me cards for this event. So Yugioh from my locals, Tim Bayer, Tom Menzel, Ayakov, Luca and to Rafael Neven. I really appreciated it. And then also shoutouts to Paulo Gonçalves. We pretty much built this deck together and put in a lot of work. And also shoutouts to all the people I tested and talked with for this event. There's too many to name, but the people know who they are. And lastly, shoutouts to my team and to my sponsor, Luxury Gaming. So I decided to play Handshape Spright for this event. There's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, I think this deck doesn't play a lot of bricks, which I really liked about the deck. Then also you have a really strong turn one. You beat one Handshape pretty much all the time. Good hands also beat two Handshapes. And then also you also have the ability to go second really well because you can play so many non-engine cards, which are really important as usual in Yu-Gi-Oh in my opinion. So that pretty much made me decide on this deck. So let's go into the profile. I played 3 Strop, 1 Ronin. It's pretty much standard. I didn't want to play Dupe Frog because the way I wanted to build a deck is to only have starters and handshapes and like engine requirements, and I think Dupe Frog is just unnecessary because it doesn't fit one of those roles really. Like I don't think Dupe Frog is an engine requirement because I just don't think you really need it, to be honest. And then I played 3 Deep Sea Diva, which in my opinion is a really good normal sum in this deck, especially the way the format is shaping up because a lot of especially good people decide to play board breakers. And I think Diva really helps against that because that way you can do the fiber combo and adding back a handshap. And by doing that, you produce an additional layer of interruption, which is especially against cards like Dark Ruler No More or Super Poly helps a lot because those cards can deal with the handshap that you added back. So those were the normal sums in this deck. Then I played some Spright cards. So I played 3 blue, 3 reds, 3 jet and only 1 red. So I guess this is not that standard. Like some people are playing 2 reds, some people are even playing or like 1 red, 1 carrot in the main deck. We didn't do that though because again, cards like carrot or the second red are not really starters, they're not really handshaps. You maybe can call them engine requirements, but for that I think just 1 red is enough because if you do your first time combo, you only need 1 red to end up with it on the field. And that's why I didn't think those cards were really necessary, to be honest. I decided to side the carrot though, because against decks like the trap decks, for example, it really helps. So even going first, it's another extender and also it's another card you can end on with your turn 1 combo. But in the main deck, I didn't think it was necessary, and I think this worked out really well for me. And then for the best and the appealing part in this deck, for the hand traps, I played a lot of them because in this format you just need to open 2 or 3 consistently to have a chance at going second. So that's why you need to max out on hand traps. Like it's not enough to play 12 or 15 hand traps. That's why I decided to play 18. So obviously Ashes standard, then it's 3 Veiler, 3 Impermanence, it's also standard, 3 Gamma, 1 Driver. This is not as standard I think, but this card is just really insane going second in the mirror. I think it's the best hand trap. It's the only hand trap in the mirror that can work on itself, except for maybe Ash, because in some hands if they only have starter, Ash can also work. But other than that, I think Gamma is definitely the best hand trap in the mirror. And it also works really well against tier elements because you can negate the grave effects. And then I decided to play some 2 of hand traps. The reason for that is that I didn't want to go like all in for the mirror match or all in for tier elements. So I wanted to have some diversity with the hand traps, and also some of the 2 of hand traps I played are only activatable once per turn, so you don't want to draw multiples. And then the last reasoning was that I played 2 Crows, for example, and Crows also a card you can get out of Prosperity when you go second against tier element. So it's something you can search and then like negate the card they send with Hoffness, for example. So that's why I decided to play 2 Nibiru, 2 Crow, 2 Mana. Another reason was that I also only played 2 Mana because I didn't want to go too heavy on the effect negation part. I didn't want to go too heavy on the grave effect part. So I didn't play more than 2 Crows because Crow is not really that great against the mirror, to be honest. It's mainly a card you use against tier elements. And then same with Nibiru, it's not that great against tier elements, especially against like the Branded or the King of the Swamp builds, but it's really good in the mirror. That's why I wanted to have it in the main deck. And yeah, so those are the 18 hand traps overall that I played. So then for the spells, I played 3 Prosperity, which, yeah, is pretty good in this deck. You can, when you go second, you can search cards like Crow or Ash against Tearlaments, which can help against the Hoffness or against like the traps. And obviously going first, like you can hold it to get a defense if you're playing versus a board breaker deck. If you're playing versus a Handtrap deck, you use it first. So yeah, it's pretty good. And then 3 Starter and 1 Smashers. So then for the extra deck, I decided to play 2 Gigantic, 2 Elf, Standard. Then for extra release, I played 1 Pure Light. This is just to get back Shifter. I played 1 Cat Shark, which is useful for OTKs, especially against board breaker decks. You sometimes do this, so that it's better than putting up a negate board that might lose if they have a board breaker next turn. Then I played Soul Reaper, clear big monsters, Toad obviously, Centauria down at Zeus. And then for Link's Almirage for the 1-card combo, this also helps playing around Ogre in some hands, which I think is useful. Played Fiber, Dark, and Phoenix. So for the side deck, I played the auto-win card against Tearlaments, played 3 Shifter. This is just insane, both going first and going second. If you draw this, you don't need any other hand trap. This card is insane. And yeah, I mean, I even played against other decks where it was really good, like versus Dragonlink, for example. Then I played 3 Ogre, because I wanted to have this card somewhere in my list, but I didn't thought it was good enough to main. But I think Ogre is pretty good in the mirror match, so it's just something I decided for game 2 and game 3. And then I played the third Nibiru, also for the mirror match. And then for going first cast, I played 1 Carrot, like I mentioned. I played the Scythe package. This is also pretty good because you just punish people that are playing board breakers with that. Like you just set this card, if they have a board breaker, you just activate it and win the game. And that's also one of the reasons why I didn't really want to play board breakers, to be honest, because cards like Sanctum, Appointer, D-Barrier, they are pretty popular in everyone's deck. So I think the best way to beat this is to just have hand traps, prevent their follow-up, prevent their turn completely, then get hit by one of those cards. But then maybe next turn they can't play because they don't have follow-up, or even if they do have follow-up, it's like a weak follow-up, and you can have another hand trap to stop them again. Whereas if you have a board breaker and they flip one of those cards and you just lose the game, like there's nothing you can do. And then for the last 3 cards inside, I had to give them back. It's 3 crossouts for the mirror match, because I still assumed that, especially the average player and the slightly buff average player, they would just play like hand trap mirror decks, and in those matchups I think crossout is a pretty good card, just to deal with the hand traps, or like even if they are playing board breakers, you still have it for their turn to negate like a starter or something like that. So yeah, that was the deck profile. I was really happy with the deck. Don't think there's anything I would change for this event. I only lost in the top card to my mistake, so there was nothing wrong with the deck really. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.